humongous. Oh my god, I still haven't seen the second half of fucking final season for fucking Attack on Titan. But we're gonna talk about it anyway. So why does Shingeki no Cojín make me understand conservatives? Gonna get right into it. Well, at least it makes me understand their fears, right? So what do we have as the fictional setting for this fictional world for the show? It is an incredibly cocked society. Incredibly cocked. And the church are SJWs. So a left-leaning church. Isn't that mind-blowing? These guys are creative. These Japs who write anime. They're very creative people, aren't they? So what do I mean by left-leaning church? They are working to keep their people very ignorant about basically the whole world, in order to keep peace, because they believe that the race is so oppressive they can't help but to make wars and enslave everyone else around them. The church is an instrument on the oppression of their people, but not for any traditional church or religious reasoning, but for SJW reasons. This society is so fucking cocked and so self-hating that the leaders have decided that they need to be kept gated and isolated, because the race has been so oppressive in the past to other civilizations that it is justified for them to suffer and be potentially exterminated. Now, there are a lot of parallels we could draw with real world races, and one that comes to mind is the Jews, because of the similar imagery. However, we can more closely draw a comparison between the aliens and white people in the real world. White people are the ones to be believed to have oppressed the rest of the world, and having been on top of the food chain, or whatever you would call it. They are the ones ashamed of belonging to the race, something that has come to be known as white guilt, resembling those aliens who want to make it up to the world by hating themselves for what their ancestors may have or may have not done, and accepting a life of second class citizenry, gladly accepting it in order to make up for being who they are. So if at first glance it looks like the real world parallel, or the most closely reasonable to make comparison, is the Jews, upon a deeper glance we can see that maybe white people are more like aliens than the Jews. So why do I think I understand conservative concerns now better than before? Because in their minds it is possible that but by white people wanting to make up for perceived aggressions and up cocking themselves harder than anticipated, or too hard, to the point of resembling a society such as the one seen in the TV show fucking breaking out, Attack on Titan, with their own race playing a huge part in their own extermination. Just to be clear, I do not think that any of this is true. I am not a right-winger by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just trying to understand all sides, which leads us into the next topic of how I am an absolute hindrance, a horrible member to have in your movement, your political side of any kind. Allow me to explain myself. I am so toxic, so crazy, and so unhinged that I will make your side look bad if I'm in it. Right now I'm a liberal, an openly liberal, if you will. And if you're familiar with those words, you already know which community I follow and which cult leader I listen to. But believe me, most people in this community are very normal. They have kids and families, and they got their shit together. I am rather the exception here. But I will be proving right all the haters by merely existing in this community and being the kind of disgusting pile of garbage that they think everyone here is. So don't listen to the haters. Omniliberals are obviously not as bad as me. I'm the worst example. Dude, how am I gonna feel this? Oh my god, how am I gonna feel this video? Holy shit. Oh my god. This is gonna be the last video I make in a very long time, if not the last one ever. My creative input, if you will, my productivity has come to a screeching halt because of my depression. So I might just disappear from the internet as a whole. But I cannot afford that. So I will have to eventually come back to resume my work on the comics and maybe something else that it's a surprise, but since nobody's gonna listen to this, it's games. I'm gonna try to get into the video game industry by being a developer. You can already imagine how fucking terrible my games will be, especially given my taste in games. You wouldn't believe it, but this year I found my favorite game of all time to beat the games that have always been my favorites. This was my top 3 gaming series before. Was number 3 Sonic the Hedgehog series, number 2 the BioShock series, and number 1 the Half-Life series. So you may be wondering what game I found that beats all of those. And it's not a series. It's a single game from a series that stands out, and it's so different and so fucking great that I think it's better than Half-Life. And nobody will ever agree with me, because this is a crazy take. But my favorite game of all time is Battlefield Bad Company. The single player campaign is so fucking good, dude, that I get more enjoyment on it than in the Half-Life campaigns. Yeah, it might be crazy, that might sound stupid, but holy shit, game is near perfect when it comes to the single player department. Not objectively perfect, but perfect for me and for my taste as a gamer or game connoisseur. You may notice how bad my English breaks sometimes. Like, English.exe stops working really hard, then it picks up a bit, like it's running on a really shitty processor, which is my brain, of course. Man, I miss my voice to speech days. I'm still so proud of those videos. I will literally steal articles from the internet about gaming and stuff, about fucking Dead Rising, something I haven't played ever, not even to this day, and you can have it and have the text-to-speech program read out the articles that I didn't write, and then I will post them and steal that content and never got repercussions for it. Isn't that great? Isn't that lovely? God, I miss 2010, dude. Fuck. To be 20 again. Life was so simple, but also so similar, because I haven't changed anything. I've been doing the same things for over a decade, and I haven't learned anything from it. What the fuck is wrong with me? Is that the definition of insanity? I'm like a very dumb animal. Something works once, so I keep trying it, even if there might be better methods out there. I keep doing the same thing, expecting not shit to change, but results I got very few times. Considering for how long I've been employing my methods. Why can't I find someone who loves everything about me like I did once? I don't want to change. I haven't in so long. Why start trying to change now? But even for how hard I've resisted change, it's been so long, that some changes have occurred, whether I like them or not. There are some changes you can't help nor stop. Even trying to hold on to memories is a fruitless effort. And trust me, I've tried as hard as I can. And I'm very good at that. I'm very good at remembering. But it was still a fruitless effort. Cause no matter how good I am at remembering things and how hard I wanted to hold on to the memories, they slip away from my aging brain. So I guess change comes even for a very autistic person who hates change with a passion and a vengeance. But the less accurately I remember things, the harder I want to go back. I've tried to look towards the future, but I can't. Doesn't mean I will stop trying. I'll keep trying to have a positive outlook and try to look ahead instead of looking back all the time till my fucking neck breaks. You would think that for my last video I will have more interesting topics to bring up, but I don't. I never did. So why would I now? The most interesting stuff I have to say is fictional tellings of sci-fi fucking stories I made up when I was a child and are still writing as an adult. Oh yeah, about that. Isn't that interesting that all my imagination happened when I was a kid and now I'm merely retelling it so I can share it? Shouldn't I have new ideas? Doesn't matter. There were enough ideas to fill a lot of books. And thanks to my amazing memory, I can recall what I imagined as a kid and tell fictional stories that are so fucking terrible, probably. Fuck. I carried so much pain inside. How did I get to this point? The fuck happened? Why do people block me so much? Why can't I approach an old friend and tell them hi when I've been blocked? Are they ashamed of me? Is it embarrassing to be around me? Yeah, of course, it must be. I haven't been outside in a decade. I mean, I've gone outside, but I haven't been outside. Imagine what that does to your brain. I must have been losing so many social skills that I must be a retard by now. And even cognitive ability, probably. It's like atrophy. No wonder nobody wants to be around me. But it still hurts. I want to know what I did wrong. I want to know what I did to everyone. For them to not want to have anything to do with me. I mean, I know what I did to some people, but I don't know what I did to other people. You know? Maybe the fact that I'm capable of hurting some people means that there's something inherently wrong with me. And it's so bad that people can notice it from a distance. I always just wanted to be normal. My mom wanted me to be normal so hard. She tried so hard for me to be normal, but nothing will fucking work. In fact, she blames herself for me turning out so wrong. She said I was outgoing and fun, and that I will dance and be happy, but she will get embarrassed of how hyperactive I was and try to mold me into someone more quiet. But then I got so much social anxiety from that, thinking everything I would do or say was wrong and embarrassing, that then I wouldn't say anything at all for years, for my whole life. And that was the source of my bullying, which lasted my whole school life. And then I blame my bullying for turning out so wrong as an adult, which makes more sense than my mom blaming herself for me getting picked on. Which, who knows if that's the case. What matters is that me being picked on turned me into the most dysfunctional person you will ever meet. Worse than Christian. Worse than Joseph Strickland. Worse than Elliot Rodger. Worse than anybody. And the reason my mom feels like I'm such a fuck up is because of my homicidal tendencies. Instead of being suicidal in my breaking points, I'm homicidal. I try to hurt whoever hurt me. And that has gotten me into horrible situations that I deeply regret. Thankfully, they kinda deserve it, not gonna lie. Oh my god, see how easily I missed the plot? I wasn't done talking about the game thingy. Since I got this huge Gale fictional universe, obviously my games will have a lot of lore. However, since I realized my favorite game is Battlefield Bad Company, and the reason it is my favorite is because of the gameplay, and I would like to make something with a gameplay that fucking good. There's not a lot of place for set pieces and gameplay breaking exposition. So if I were to set a game in the Gale universe and I wanted to have great gameplay and not focus too much on the lore, that would people would complain because they would have to go outside of the medium to learn about the lore, which I have seen happen with some game series, the Halo, that make people complain because the necessary lore to understand the story isn't within the game, which is a problem, right? So how do I have this lore-rich universe without being interested in showing the lore? I would either have to make a gameplay-rich game, gameplay-focused game that is outside of the lore-rich universe. I mean, I guess I can figure it out as I make it. Also, oh my god, I lost everything again because of my anger. Surprised again. I've lost everything again. Because I can't control my fucking self. And the people I keep meeting are shittier and shittier. Where are the quality people gone? What the fuck is the kind of people I keep fucking meeting? But I digress. Oh my god, if you want me to get really personal, let's just say everything started because of someone in my life. Okay, but before I continue further, I saw a bass jamming video where he was talking about Joseph Strickling. How many times have I compared myself to Joseph Strickling in this channel? It's crazy how many times, right? But he said that if you put out content that talks about your personal life, you'll be a laughing stock. Yeah, well, no shit, I know. But what else can I talk about, right? So anyways, I was in this autism supporter group and I got fucking kicked from it, from a fucking autism support group. I actually made a video about this, but it got lost because I lost my other channel. But imagine that, imagine getting kicked from an autism support group. That's how fucking toxic I am. And then, like the lead therapist fucking blocks me on social media and doesn't want anything personal to do with me. Which fucking fucks with my head and has me to this day thinking that I'm worthless and that something is wrong with me, and sends my whole life into a downworld spiral, making me commit horrid actions because of my insecurities. Things like freaking out at any perceived notion of rejection, at any perceived slights, any perceived instances of abandonment, and just generally making things worse by being so insecure. Oh, but it gets worse, folks. It gets so much worse. So remember bitch theory, which I talk about often. In bitch theory, there are certain kinds of bitches in your life. There are main bitches and side bitches. It's been a long time since I've known someone who I could call the main bitch. It's only side bitches in my life. But things with my main bitch, with my last main bitch, ended horribly. Horribly. Because of my insecurities. And I attribute it all to being kicked from the autism support group. and being oyster sized. God knows why. Oh, because I was making troll comments. Oh no, can't have that image for our fucking organization, right? Fuck off, dude. It was just troll comments. I'm always trolling. Get over your fucking selves. So anyways, because of this oysterization, I start making horrible decisions. Even worse than the decisions I've always made. So my main bitch blocks me again, like for the 10th time, like loving partners usually do for no reason at all. And usually I would play it cool. I would try to be supportive and roll with it. Just roll with it and try to understand it, right? And just generally trying to passively be there for her whenever she decides to come back and not even mention it. Just, okay, you're back, whatever. Not even mention that you've been gone for months. Because that was like my new approach, right? No use in making a huge deal about it. She comes and she goes and comes, whatever. Oh, but not this time, because everything was going wrong in my life. And I had to make it someone else's problem, as usual. So, this time there wasn't the nice me. There was no more Mr. Nice Guy. So I basically freaked out and caused a shitstorm over it. As you do. And damn, boy, it carried a lot of consequences, didn't it? Fuck. So I fuck everything up with my quote-unquote main bitch and proceed to be miserable because of it, and continue to be miserable to this day. Because holy shit, I guess there's a lot of karma for what I did. Even though I feel I'm not trying to justify it, because holy shit, there's no reason why I should have done that. But holy shit, there's a lot of blame to go around. There's a lot of blame I could put on other people too, you know? It wasn't just me. I don't live in a vacuum. I am not an isolated entity. I would say other people had a lot to do with it. They pushed me to the edge, and beyond. If anything, I behaved myself pretty cool, all things considered. So then I regret what happened and realize that my insecurities hold me back a lot and cause a lot of shit, especially since I'm so confrontational. And angry and not ashamed to cause a shitstorm. Okay? By the type of person I am, it is not a good idea to get angry and to have my insecurities get out of hand. So I feel bad about it and promise to myself that my insecurities won't be a factor in my decision making anymore. But guess what? My insecurities actually continue to get worse. And worse. And worse. Granted, without the worst consequences. Without the horrible consequences of me being insecure, because now I take a little bit of control and realize that I cannot be exacting vengeance upon the world. Enacting, sorry. Just because I feel ugly, unwanted, and unfuckable. Cannot make it anyone else's problem. But I continue to. Inexplicably. Well, there might be a lot of explanations for that. But still, dude, shouldn't have made it everyone else's problem. So one night, in my infinite loneliness and dealing with my horrible feelings that eat me up inside, two fucking dipshits approached me to talk to me, ask me questions about my life and about pets and shit. It's great because someone is fucking paying attention to me. And then they just block me. Why not, right? They just block me. The thing that makes me feel that there's something wrong with me, and I need to know what exactly it is, right? So what do? I try to find out what it is that is wrong with me, and when you block me for no fucking reason, we weren't talking about anything weird. Nothing weird was happening. I have to find out why you fucking blocked me. So in my process of finding out, guess what? I become a stalker. Again. Just by trying to find out, I am a stalker again, according to everyone, and I get into a lot of trouble. And word gets to my current official side bitch, I guess. And of course she immediately leaves me because she also hasn't talked to me in months. You don't talk to me, but you will communicate with me about leaving me. You never say hi, you never check up on me. But someone complains to you about something. Oh yeah, no, it's obviously time to leave me. You could have left me at any moment during those 3 months. You weren't even fucking talking up to me, and had me fucking waiting and typing you shit. Whatever, right? That happens. I get dumped because these little pieces of shit who wouldn't tell me why they blocked me started a fucking campaign to get me cancelled and get my shit fucked because I was stalking them, even though they randomly blocked me and made me feel like there was something wrong with me, which is probably true. What I heard the guy saying. Yeah, obviously there's something wrong with me. Just what is it? Why won't anyone tell me what it is? I want to find out so I can fix it, you know? It's not like I don't want to be better. So my life is ruined again because I couldn't control myself because I got angry at these dipshits. Then someone else leaves my life and makes me feel like garbage and treats me horribly. Why do they treat me horribly? In what moment do they do that? When I'm fucking begging them to stay. That's when they treat me horribly. When I'm begging them and telling them how much I fucking need them, because it's fucking true, I need them. I don't need to be alone. Not now, not ever. And especially not now. But no, I'm too crazy. Yeah, well, yeah. But I'm too crazy. I'm too sick. I'm sick. And people cannot be around someone sick because for reasons. Because that's disgusting somehow. I need to understand how that's disgusting, but okay. I mean, if you were sick in the head, like me, I will look past it, cause that does not enter the equation of why I'm with you, right? That's not a deal breaker, but I guess it is a deal breaker for everyone else. So why haven't I killed myself? With all of this, obviously there are enough reasons for me to fucking kill myself in a video game. Well, first off, I want it to be a rational decision. I don't want it to be impulsive. So I'm gonna wait like a year and do it so it can be like a rational decision. Like, oh, a year has passed, so now I do it. And the other reason, which is even more stupid, is because there are still people in my life that kinda maybe care about me. They often treat me very wrong and want to push my buttons and see how much sheer desperation they can get out of me. How much they can get me to beg them to stay and whatever, right? Also, will rarely think of me or think of coming to say hi. But still, there are people in my life. Not as near the quality I had come to expect from a decade ago. Not that quality of people, even though I've been desperately trying to surround myself again with that quality of people in my life. I'm not getting it. Maybe I got quality people back then because I wasn't balding yet. Maybe that's the reason. Who knows? So yeah, those are the reasons I'm not dead yet. And if you're gonna say, oh, what about your projects? Then you still have projects? There was a time my projects held me back from killing myself. But now that is not a factor. Yeah, I cannot have that as an anchor to this world. It's not happening anymore. Besides, I've already materialized some of the projects enough for me to say, okay, if I'm dead tomorrow, the world isn't gonna miss much of what my brain has to offer. But yeah, more times than I can count how I compare myself to Joseph Strickland, Elliot Roger, and fucking Christian for good reasons. No one can deny. The only people that deny it are being too nice in a very misguided way. Obviously, I am another example of the worst autism has to offer, of the worst outcomes a person can have when dealing with autism. So to cap it off as we approach the end of the episode, yeah, I probably need some serious help. Some serious help. You're not helping by stating the obvious, okay? I know I do. Okay? Let's not go there. Let us not go there. And It is a battle. It has always been a battle of me against myself, trying not to believe that I'm unfuckable. However, the battle is lost, and now I fully believe that I am unwantable, unfuckable, and no one will ever love me. Which is a terrible battle to have lost, because now it means it's the end. But at least now I'm free to act upon, make the decisions that I think I should make, knowing this outcome. It was a hard fought battle. I did what I could, but I cannot deny the facts. Anyone who sees me will agree. Anyone who doesn't believe in suicide will take a look at me and say, yeah, maybe this is one of the cases where, euthanasia is the best option we have here. There are some people who just need to be put out of their misery, and I am one of them. There are no redeeming qualities about this here person right here. This humble servant. But hey, what about that self-awareness? That's something the other lol cows lack. They don't have the self-awareness. That's a positive thing. Yeah, that by itself doesn't mean jack shit, okay? That by itself doesn't get me too far. Doesn't get me anything. It's meaningless, okay? Thank you very much for tuning in and staying until the end of my probably last video on the channel. See you.
Since the beginning of the pandemic, and you've missed about 70 of them if you're not supporting the habit at patreon.com/Joseph Buckley.